Is that?
Ah, there you are.
Yes. Hey. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Hey. There
Good.
you
How are
are.
you?
Good, we made it.
I
Yeah.
actually added another THERUNNER account at first.
Okay, okay.
I don't know if you have two, but here you are.
Yes, thank you for appreciate your patience. Skype is kind of tricky, um, but we have a great connection. So you guys are in Norway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's start.
Awesome, and it's a little after. What is it? 10:30. So
Yeah.
we'll I won't take up too much of your time, but as you
Fine.
know, I'm the runner. My name is Todd. I live in Chicago, right outside Chicago, and I run my internet radio station. And I like to
Yeah.
play really cool artists. I like to comb the internet and find really cool indie artists to play on my station. I just don't play run of the mill artists. I thought your music was pretty cool, and it took me back. And don't get offended, but it reminded me of like the '80s and like I know you know who Aha is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I think Aha was the first, with the exception of I think Roxette came out later, but Aha came out when I was like in I think ninth or 10th grade, and it was the sound
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but there is a unique sound for the Norwegian artists, and I went and I remember buying that record, and so when I was listening to your music, I kept hearing certain things, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. So that's why I was like badgering you to get your music on the station because it's really
No problem.
good. So
Thanks.
who? Okay, so who's? 'Cause it's a little dark, but Magnus, and is it Johannes?
Yeah.
Magnus.
Maybe this is better.
Yeah, I can see you now. How do you pronounce
Uh,
your name?
Magnus.
Magnus. Okay, Magnus.
and Johannes.
Yeah.
Johannes. Okay, Johannes. Okay.
Yes.
Magnus
So
is okay, by the way.
okay,
Or Joe.
you know, I'm an ignorant American. So when I watch television, and I watch a lot of international movies, and you see the name Magnus, and I've been saying it incorrectly, so I apologize. And by the
Oh, it's fine.
way, there's a great uh, series on Netflix called Noble. I think it's called
Yeah.
Noble. Have you seen that? That's
Yeah.
ex-
Yeah. I've seen it.
it's
It's
excellent.
a Norwegian series with
Yeah,
Axel Hennie.
it's
Yeah.
it,
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Okay.
like it.
yeah. I finished it. It's excellent. I hope they come out with another one. So tell me, how did you guys get started, and how did you meet? How did you decide, hey, we're going to make music together because we like each other's style?
Yeah. We kind of started doing music before we met. You know,
Yeah. Each on our own.
we come from different places in Norway
Mm-hmm.
and have some experience before we started this project we have together. Um, but we met in our music studies actually here in Norway.
Hmm.
We've done a music production bachelor together. The first one in Norway actually, and we found out that we had really good chemistry starting with all these school projects and assignments and stuff,
Oh
and
wow.
we just ended up doing these things together, and it was really natural and fun to work together, and it just evolved from that.
Yeah.
Well, well, you can. I mean, you can definitely tell it works. It's really good. And I didn't want to jump to this song, but the song "Monster."
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife loves it. It's a beautiful song, and I love the remixes of it.
Yeah. Cool.
I
Too.
constantly play it. I was just playing it before we got on, but let me know if this is too loud. But I love this song. Let me. I like the intro to the song
Yeah.
is That's fantastic. Now, whose idea was that?
I think there's a little bit of both in this intro, at least. I remember Johannes made his arps. I think that's the first part of which was made in this song.
Yeah, I'm really into making like original chords and chord progressions.
Yes.
So I actually think the production started there. And that was like a kind of a basic, and Magnus started making this, weird bell sounds, shots that comes in right in the beginning. It's a kind of a mixture of those two elements together.
So tell me about the growl.
Yeah,
It's excellent.
Take that one.
That's actually a lynx. It's not a monster. The cat kind of animal.
Yes.
Yeah, lynx. I think it's lynx.
Really?
We actually call it the track without the vocals, the beardless lynx, and we just threw in some sounds of a lynx, and it sounded like a monster. And
it's well, obviously you knew it was perfect because you used it, but it's very fitting, and as artists, I make my own music, but as artists, you live to find.
Yeah.
They're and I hate to keep using the term unique, but I guess it's specific to that region. It's the sound, and what do you call the style of singing from the Norwegian female vocal? Because it's completely different, and it goes very well with a lot of different electronic music. It really does, because you just can't. I mean, everyone will get a soulful, housey vocal. I mean, you can get those all day long. You know, I noticed you did a remix of Inner City, which was my jam back in the day.
Nice.
Really good remix, by the way. But anyway, how do you describe the Norwegian female vocal, the artistry behind the vocal, because it's very different?
Oh, that's a really good question, actually. I don't know if I have a good answer. I mean, I agree. I think we're lucky to have a lot of great original sing here in Norway. I mean, it's originality. I think it's a big, thing to think about, and I don't know. What do you think?
I'm trying to come up with an answer, but I really don't know.
I mean, it's kind of a package, You can have a great voice, but you really have to, use the voice in its best environment, in a way.
Right.
That's important. And when you find a voice with a good character and really, manage to find the best way to enhance this character in the voice, I feel maybe we have managed to do that with the monster.
Oh, totally.
You have all the space in the lead bill for the vocal sound to shine. With its best quality. But why we have a lot of Norwegian singers with this qualities? I don't know. It's difficult to answer.
Well, I look for a very different sounding vocalist, because I think that it's good to experiment, and I think there's a lot of versatility there with all the unique sounds that come with the equipment and different DAWs. But that particular vocal one, you don't hear it all the time, and it's special when you hear it. And it's like you want to wrap yourself up in a blanket, and sit and listen to that song. It's just very comforting, and it's perfect. So, do you all work together? The vocalist, is her name? What's her name? Deborah or Robin? Is it Robin?
No, are you thinking about the singer for the Monster?
Yes.
Yeah, her name is Christiane.
Christian. Oh, Robin is with
Chris-
Roy Scott. That's my bad.
Robin is with.
Roy Scott.
Well, she have a lot of songs with Röyksopp. Yeah, we actually have Robin and Röyksopp on our wall here.
Okay.
Big poster. One of our big inspirations.
Absolutely. Mine too.
But yeah, you can answer the question about if we're working together with Christiane.
Sorry,
Well,
your question was if we're working together now,
yeah,
or
if you're going to continue to work together.
Yeah.
With Christiane.
Unfortunately, no, I don't think so. We did this release, The Monster, and that was kind of the startup of this Atella project.
Okay.
But when this project evolved, we kind of went in a little bit different direction than Christiane, like in life in general. So we did.
We live in she's living in Oslo and we in Bergen.
Okay.
So there's this thing as well.
Yeah, it's basically just a matter of practical challenges, and she's a bit younger than us as well.
Okay.
So we kind of now want to.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Will happen again. I don't know.
But it's nice for us to. It's nice for us to have the freedom of working with different vocalists.
Yes.
So that's kind of our situation now, and our basis now.
Well, you know what's special about that is she's used for that track, which is special. So if you used her on a bunch of other tracks, then it wouldn't be so special.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get your point. A lot of sometimes a lot of artists they'll use the same vocalist and then it kind of gets old. Going back to your music, the files that you sent me, they're all different. So what inspires you? Now we heard Roy Scott, but I'm not hearing Roy Scott in is it Dagny?
Yeah.
Hang on. I mean that's a good sounding track. It's nice and clean.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's a good track.
Thanks.
Yes, I mean, so tell me about Dagny. How did that track come along?
Well, that's we don't know her personally. That was just, I think it was our manager who made this possible.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but we thought it was fun to do something, do a remix for her.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed you guys do some really good remixes. I pulled up your SoundCloud page. So you guys do the clubbing and you do some remixing and DJing. So
yeah.
What equipment do you use? Because I was curious about that. What equipment are you using for when you create your music and for your DJing? What are you using?
A little bit of this and that. So we love analog synthesizers. That's for starters.
Uh-huh.
But it could be really everything. It's
I think we're kind of we like to try out a lot of different equipment and software and this and that and find the things we really like to use and become really good at some kinds of software or equipment. We ended up software-wise to make everything in Logic, Logic X.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it comes to the main DAW, the center of it all the recording and production and programming and stuff like that. But I mean, like Magnus said, we like to kind of get hands-on with the composing. So with all the analog gear we can get,
and playing for hand,
and playing like things organically, we kind of get more and more outside of the computer when composing and making stuff, and get more and more intuitive in the recording process.
More creativity.
Yeah, especially for me, it's really nice to make things on the spot, and not get too obsessed by all this programming opportunities. It's nice to have it.
Yeah.
We still use a lot of MIDI if we can, MIDI programming to control all these synthesizers, and you kind of do recordings of all the melodies and stuff at the end. But so it's kind of a 50-50 mix of an old way of producing and a new way, modern way of producing, I think.
Well, I think when you're making this kind of music, you have to be patient. Because of the technology, it's very easy to whip something out, And I was talking with another artist. He's called the Glad Scientist. He does virtual reality music, and another guy, Rado. He does some really cool music, and we both said the same thing. It's like it's so easy to make electronic music and finish it. You may start it in the beginning with a great idea, but there's so many different options. You rush to finish it, and not you per se, but I found myself doing that. And so I'll start something, and to avoid that mess, I leave it alone and come back and listen to it again, because sometimes I get tired of hearing my own music. You lose the quality of it. You can't hear the quality anymore. So you've got to have somebody that you either have to go on a vacation and come back and listen to it again to pick it back up. But one thing I wanted to ask you, a couple guys I've already interviewed, they use this piece of equipment called the OP1 by Teenage Engineering. Have you heard of that?
Yeah. Yes.
Have you used it?
We don't have it. It's a small synthesizer. It's right.
Yes. Yeah. Oh. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it looks nice, and I've just barely tried it, so I can't say really much about it.
I haven't tried it. I don't have one. It's just more people are starting to use it, and I guess it's very versatile and does a whole lot.
Oh, is this the white controller thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
With kind of like this special type of buttons. Yeah. Okay. Now I remember.
Yeah. It's a synthesizer sample. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't tried it that much actually. It's cool.
Yeah, I was just curious because that seems to be the new thing that people are using now. So I was just curious. So, when did you guys actually start your band? When did you? Because everything I see says 2014, and you don't have a lot of information out there.
No, we tried to keep it a little bit secret. I guess.
A little bit mysterious, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of, we need to focus on the music.
Yeah.
That's what we do. No, I don't think we really know, because it kind of just went there in a slow pace from meeting at studies, and suddenly we were doing all these school projects together, and whoa, we made a remix together, let's release it, and yes, let's call it Atella remix, and bang, we have Atella. So, it's been a slow process to where we are today.
But I would like to add that just to like give some overview, we kind of decided to move together to Bergen, where we are now, in 2012. to kind of start this thing up, like start from zero here. We had an impression that it was a good environment for music here, especially for electronic music.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we started here and did, for example, the track with Christiane and stuff like that. But the Atella project was still kind of, we didn't know quite what it was.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know quite where we wanted to go, and we started working with our first manager, maybe 2013 or something, 14, 13. And kept we were still a little confused. But then we met like a year ago the manager we have now, who really managed to kind of compress and tell us what this project is about.
Sure.
And he really helped us to just filter out everything unnecessary information and just, this is what you're going to do. And that really helped us to get the efficiency higher when it comes to doing things, finishing projects and songs and stuff. That was maybe a year ago.
Yeah, I think it's more.
Yeah, year and a half.
So within the last, obviously less than 5 years, I mean, for you two to come together in less than 5 years and put out all of this music, and it's good. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. Because I was searching, trying to, I'm like, these guys, all I'm seeing is 2013, 14, and I was like, there's no way. But yeah, I mean, it's really good music, and I really like the Flying Circles. But before we get into Flying Circles, tell me about your logo. And how did you derive at Atella, the name?
The name, what was that again?
Yeah, it was you that
I think
the name. I don't know quite where did it come from.
I think, to be honest, I don't know how it really ended there, but I was reading an atlas, so it's kind of something about seeing the world in a way.
Okay.
And just playing around with the letters, really. The logo is made by a friend, a local friend, a designer in Bergen, and we just like his stuff. We wanted him to make our logo, and
well, it's fitting. It's different, and it kind of has like an alien type of a vibe to it.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
Sometimes it reminds me of the Enterprise, as the Star Trek.
Well, the picture of you all with that extra skin coming down, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was and that's exactly what it reminded me of, Star Trek. It was pretty.
Yeah.
So are you guys Trekkies?
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Are you?
But
Okay.
very
Sci-fi in general.
just
Sci-fi.
Just general the sci-fi and the retro futuristic.
Yeah.
Environment and all kinds of things from that style is really inspiring us.
Yeah.
What are your ages?
Unknown.
You're like me. I'm not telling you. I'm older than I look, but you wouldn't know by all the things I'm interested in. So let's tell me about. Let's play some Flying Circles here. Let me know if it's too loud on your end.
That's no problem.
Okay. So we'll wait for it to get some more. that's good. So who was the creative genius behind this one?
I think it started as a jam session. So it's both of us again. But the inspiration is really just, I think it's old electronic music like Jean-Michel Jarre and Italo disco and
Bob James.
yeah, even Bob James for some reason. Yeah, I remember there was something like that. Yeah.
Well, the reason I asked you your ages is because we talked about you have to have a certain amount of patience making this kind of music because you don't want to rush into, you know, the transitions because it sounds like everything else out there, you know. That's why I asked you. I'm like, you obviously took your time when you made this, and it's like the progression. It's not what you hear today. It's not. You guys are taking your time and you're building the song, and I like your reverbs in the background. I love playing with the reverb myself.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, that's a pretty good song.
Yeah, I don't know. We just make the arrangements and the dynamics the way we feel it's right. I think it's kind of just a natural feeling you get.
Mm-hmm. It's hard
but
to
also,
describe that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we also are aware of the typical. You're talking about pop arrangements, and kind of try to get a little bit away from that as well.
Yes.
We want our music to be like available for a lot of listeners and not too, challenging, but still there's a balance.
Sure.
It has to be like as timeless as we can make it, so it lasts, and it has to be interesting now and ahead of time.
Well,
so that's why the detail work are so important as well.
Yeah.
Well, what I find interesting about you, the two of you, is that I know when I make music, I have to be in a certain mood. So,
yeah,
how did you two stay on that plane together to make the music? Because that's difficult to do. I mean, it is. Your creativity, you could have general creativity, but to really go deep and maintain that creativity to produce something phenomenal, you have to be in sync. So how do you two stay in sync without choking each other?
Well, we kind of sometimes say that he's driven by the gut feeling. Me is more the head, more logical, or maybe
think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
thinking about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm always the thinker.
I'm not thinking. I'm just doing.
He's the doer. I'm the thinker. And for me, I listen to music and I write music in my way.
Sure.
And he in a little bit different way. And we kind of try to fill our needs into the same track. And hopefully that's a good combination.
Yeah, I think that works. But I can understand your question because it's a challenge for I think everyone, and it's a process. It's a learning curve to actually just work together in the studio and be really comfortable about it, and not get into fights all the time, and it's the have the ability to compromise all the time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because you're always gonna have disagreements, because it's just a creative process you have in your head.
Right.
But if you always compromise, that's kind of fun, because then you end up in a totally new place you never would have ended up
Right.
yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a product of our, merging minds.
So
And if that works, we can just keep doing it.
well, I mean, for you to put this many songs out in such a short period of time, typically when someone puts out or a group puts out music that fast, and I say this a lot in my interviews, back in the day you'd buy a CD, it'd have 12 songs on it, and like number 2 was the best song, because they rushed to put the CD together. But I don't hear that with your music. I mean, you guys obviously gel together very well, and I was curious about the patience aspect. So with that, where's the music that you said, you know what, you both decided, we don't like that? Where do you put all that music, all those ideas? Because I know every artist has a file of music that they started, and they're like, let's get back to that another time. Because it sounds different later after you've produced so much more music. Then you appreciate what you put off, because now there's other elements that you could add to that based on the music that you made prior. So you go back to where you started to finish.
It's 4 o'clock.
So, so how many of those do you have? Do you have a lot of that music?
It's a little funny that you ask, because I actually did a whole process in the studio with like backup and stuff. Kind of went through it all, and it's a lot. I mean,
I figured.
It's not more complicated than that. We have maybe a folder with between 150, maybe 200 projects.
Wow.
With ideas, and it's just a big archive, and most of the things are just sketches and ideas and projects that some became something and became a release, but a lot are just lying there. But
I would love to bring back some again one day. And I actually thought about some sketches I did when I started. I think, oh, that's a nice idea, but I don't know how to keep. I have to learn more.
Well, and see, that's what I was getting at. There are songs that you begin to make, and they sound so wonderful. You don't want to ruin them by using, the current technology, because there's more out there, and you want to learn that and then come back to that song. And I struggle with that, and so I figured you guys would have, just based on what I'm hearing and the way you put your music together, I figured you have a large file of projects. So my next question, I know it's late there, and we'll wrap this up, because I'm going to go see Fast Furious 8 tonight.
Cool.
Since you're relatively new, and I'm sure you're big in Norway, do you have plans to go global? I mean, you've got some competition in Norway, I understand, but do you plan, because you have really good sounding music, do you plan to go global? Do you plan to just continue to grow and become that, that wealthy artist that you're striving? I don't know what you're striving to be. Are you doing this just as a hobby, or do you want your music to be globally heard?
Well, yes, I want that our music is appreciated all over the world, if it's possible. First of all, we would love to come to that place. We only are doing music. We do what we love to do.
Right. Same here.
Yeah, I would guess it's a common thing among musicians and artists.
Yeah.
Yes, the answer is yes. We don't see any borders when it comes to like geography. It's no limitations for us.
Yeah, we just keep on going.
Like in general, this is what we love to do. This is our big passion, and I think we're really stubborn. You know,
Sure.
there's a lot of challenges going. You know, putting yourself in this business, and but it's worth it because it's so fun to do something you're so passionate about. So I think we're pretty, we can agree on that, to just, for example, travel around the world playing, or making the music so it can sell enough, it can be economically good for us.
Sure.
It's an important deal, of the package. So yes, the answer is yes.
I was just curious because some just do, and I mean, I've got my day job as well, and sometimes the day job is I'm not going to say the day job is distracting because the day job pays the bills. Sometimes the music becomes distracting, but that's where your passion is. And the reason I do music is because it takes my mind off the real world. It's like I go into this bubble, and I can relax. And so it sounds like we're talking the same language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's an addiction.
Oh yeah, it is, and it's fun. It's really fun because what's amazing is no one really makes the same type of music. It's all your own little intellectual property, and nothing really sounds the same unless you are intentionally replicating something that someone else made. But in reality, it's all different, and it's amazing what individuals come up with that stay the course. And so with that, I do plan on I'm going to continue to play your music. But before we conclude the interview, where can listeners find your music besides my radio station at THERUNNER.com? Where else can they find your music?
Well, we do have. I think we have more music on SoundCloud right now. But you could find the music on Spotify and iTunes and Apple Music and so on. And there will be more.
I'm just curious, how common is it to use Spotify in the States now?
Well, people are. I mean, I've got a couple songs on Spotify myself. It's pretty simple to get it up there. But if you I research internet radio, and quite frankly, internet radio is going to take over terrestrial radio at an exponential rate. And think about it. Internet radio is everywhere. Every device, everywhere. Spotify is, I want to say, I think they are they gained substantial market share over the past 3 years. You can actually Google Spotify and look at their progression. It's addictive, but to answer your question, Spotify is very popular. Very popular.
Okay.
It's music on demand, but there's a competitor called iHeartRadio.
Okay.
Kind of the same thing. But we'll see who wins. The challenge with Spotify, they play like artists, and there's just so many different artists out there. I mean, unless somebody knows who Atella is on Spotify, you're going to end up in a mix of like genres.
Yeah.
And that's one reason I started my radio station, because there's so much talent out there that doesn't get played. You get looped in with like artists, and the listener is wanting to listen to Roy Scott, then you get put in there, you get a little exposure, but I just don't think it's enough personally. I like doing the internet radio thing, and it's heard all over the world. But anyway, I mean, if you want to put your music on Spotify, it will be heard more in the States, just so you know. So, guys, it was a pleasure. I know it's late there.
No problem.
And thank you very much for taking the time. I've been waiting for this interview. I know you've been busy, and I really do
It's-
appreciate it.
Yeah.
If you could just give me if you could give me a shout out on your Facebook page as to where to listen to your music, that would be fantastic. And I will continue to play your music in rotation. And you've seen it populate with the tweets and this, that, and what have you. So as you get more music, just I'll be reaching out to you. I've got my mailing list, and I'll touch base with you. But I'd like to stay in touch with you as you continue to grow. This is fun for me, and I enjoy it. I really do.
Yeah,
So,
me too.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
I like your questions.
thank you. Thank you very much.
And just a small teaser, we have an upcoming single as well.
Okay.
With a B-side.
With a B-side.
We'll send it as
Excellent.
A-side.
Okay. All right.
Okay, have a good evening.
Hey, you too. Take care again. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.